I will.
Hi, Caleb. That's good enough intro. And today we're playing Bubsy 2.
Yeah.
For lack of anything else better to play.
And I was making comment on his
And Will needs driving lessons.
slightly disturbing attire. Or lack of attire. Or
Yeah, more to the point.
yeah, I don't know. I think also it's just the arse in your face and the...
He's got that what's Dylan Warren say? The naked from the waist down to emphasize their nakedity.
Yeah, that's it.
Like he's extra naked.
Yeah. Is he supposed to be a bobcat? Is that it?
I think so. Well, it's like because it's like that thing.
Looking at the tail.
A woman with a shirt on but no pants, just like looks extra good. Than just
especially a
showing
man's shirt.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's just like after the conquering.
Oh, hot diggity. Oh, dang.
But anyway.
On a similar note, I find women driving utes incredibly attractive.
Yeah, you've mentioned before.
I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's that sort of, likely to do, or that they're more likely to.
It's
to
indicative
work.
of strength and independence, and I like a strong woman.
That's what I was trying to get at, and you worded it a lot better than I did. Thank you. Alright. I'm going to save that because I want to look at that later when I can actually appreciate it. And then get to the page. Don't just talk about anything. I don't care.
There's a menagerie of disturbing things going on.
We'll just
in
ignore
front of
that. I mean, I've never played Bubsy 2, so we're going to be interesting to see what exactly how it goes.
Whoa!
Alright, well, have you got your thing open to pilot your phone better? I just got it open so I can sort of grab a few topics myself.
I'll get my thing out.
I will admit that a lot of the topics I shared without actually having read any of them. As to actually just
a couple I did that.
Discuss the topic as opposed to, or the concept of the topic without actually talking about the thing itself. Like there was one article about children could soon ditch their human friends for robots.
Oh yeah.
Which I haven't read, but I was interested by. I was like, finally.
I think it's in Japan. A lot of kids have got pet robots because it's too expensive to own a pet or to get hold of a dog or whatever. So heaps of kids have got robotic pets.
Okay.
And similar to that, I'll have a quick.
Oh well, apparently I've missed some plot somewhere.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know, but I'm here now.
Bubsy has plot.
Something's happening.
There's a pig princess.
Why am I here? Have I just
I don't know,
smoked
but
the
there
most
are
epic
swine.
weed in the world?
Well, these games. When were these games made? Because I'm getting LSD. I'm getting. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna see if I can.
With the,
Oh great! Now I can't even adjust
LSD
the controls.
with a cocaine coating.
Well, fuck you guys.
Children will soon want to ditch their human best friends to spend time with a robot instead, scientist warns. I think that really depends on the kid.
Wait, what was that? Sorry? Oh, crap.
That was the title. The title was "The children will soon want to ditch their human best friends to spend time with robots
okay,
instead."
I've got a bone to pick there. That is
Alright.
a fucking spectacularly long death animation. Because the point of these games is that you want to die quickly so you can get back to doing play the game. Because you're going to die quite a bit.
Yep.
It's that sort of 8-bit hard kind of thing. And when the death animation takes a long time to go, it's just going to annoy you. Because at the first time, oh, that's funny, that's great. On the first one, and 10, 13, 30 deaths later, that's going to get real fucking annoying.
Yep. It's like me playing Dead Space.
That's just like death.
No.
See, like just how long this takes.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yes. At least with Dead Space animations, they look interesting.
So they're entertaining and they have some variety.
Yeah. That and, I didn't die that much, so it never got too old.
No, I didn't die that too
Why
much
is
either.
a sandwich hugging me? Okay.
Yeah, there's some wacky shit.
He's not
I think
jumping
they've
as
tried
far.
too hard.
He's not jumping as far as normal too. Original Bubsy was much better.
Alright, this article reckons that a fifth of youngsters say they expect to be friends with a robot in the future. 8% say they already talk to voice-activated assistants like a friend. Alright, well, yeah.
That is fucking
I
depressing.
think maybe that mum and dad need to pick up the pace. Young people have fewer concerns about robots threatening their jobs. Yep, it's true, probably. Girls were worried about working with robots. Girls were more worried about working with robots than boys.
What?
Right?
Girls are
That's what
more
it says.
worried about working with robots than boys. Wouldn't it be helping the article if they said we're more worried about working with boys than robots? You sure this thing hasn't mistyped itself?
Girls were more worried about working
okay.
with robots than boys.
Okay. That might be something to do with
Boys
women.
were less worried.
Yeah, that might be something to do with boys.
More accepting.
Yeah,
of the
well, more
technology.
being more engaged in technology, more to the point, and the tech industry sort of being having a bit of a barrier to female learners.
The survey covered ages 5 to 18. It was pretty big.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the age group, because like older women probably would be better with it, but young girls, it's sort of not cool to be seen as a geek and do all the tech stuff, because you got to be sitting in the classroom in the computer. And I have to going by my high school anyway, the computer lab stank, which would definitely be a put off to women.
Yeah.
And I didn't, oh Christ almighty, I didn't go into the computer labs. I stayed in my own art studio and just used the computer in there on my own.
Yeah, that's what I used to do too. There was supposed to be blocks on the computers to stop you looking at suspicious content, right?
Yeah.
But in doing year 11 and 12 art, you often wanted to look for nudes and pictures of the human form and stuff. And so these blocks were a little annoying, but there were ways around them. And one usually figured these ways out pretty easily.
Yeah.
And so I'd be sitting there browsing this content, and then the head art teacher would walk in behind me and was like, "How did you get that? How did you look that up? No, seriously, how? Where?
Yeah.
Because I have heaps of trouble."
It's all in the way you word it.
Yeah, well, it's all in the way you word it, and if you use third-party sites, so you use a link site to go around it.
Oh,
So
well,
it's
I didn't have that. I wasn't that smart. I just figured out different ways of wording it. So that way because the computer would pick up on keywords, but if you worded it a certain way or deliberately misspelt it, then it would still come up with other stuff, and the computer would wouldn't register it.
Yeah.
Or if it was just words that the computer they didn't think of. Hentai was good. Backwards.
Who doesn't know? Yeah, I
backwards
suppose.
regional.
When they're getting like
high
50-year-olds to set the.
Yeah.
Let's see. AI in the workplace. Researchers also revealed that young people have fewer concerns about the threat posed by robots in the future compared to adults.
That's curious. Why would they? Because I mean, unless of course that's just because they're growing up with them, so they're learning to adapt with the technology. Whereas a lot of older people, you see a lot of these old people with these massive skills, but at the same time they have machines now, and you won't need to. And so it'd be good to learn how to do this stuff, but at the same time you don't really need to do it.
It's one of those things that for every job taken by a robot, it opens up an avenue for a job to be taken by a human. The problem is then you've got to have educated humans that are able to do those jobs. Yeah, but
You can't just
but
have
also the thing
shelf
is
stackers.
that in and of itself, the fact that there are so many robots and computer programs, etc., is an industry and a big one, and it will require people to maintain and upkeep these robots and program these robots and build these robots. You know, there will still be, most of the robots will probably be built by robots, but even those robots still have to be maintained. Like,
yeah, well, they could just be maintained by other robots. Like, it just gets to the point.
well, no, within reason though. Like, yeah, it can do a troubleshoot, but not always. You know, well, depends on the level of advancement. But, you know,
son
there'll
of a
always
bitch.
be a place for a human within the.
Well, this is how we were getting on with our. If you're a serious listener, with our podcast on the universal income and stuff. For robots.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, there's creative pursuits and other, creative and philosophical pursuits that humans can undertake that computers can have a role in, but not take charge with.
Yeah.
So if there's room made
Oh,
by
son
robots,
of a bitch!
how do you keep finding that fucking hole? Anyway, so if there's room made for those pursuits by the robots, then that's cool.
Well, people are just going to have to, like, just don't watch this video, just listen to it. Just have it playing in the background while doing something else, because this is not going to be entertaining viewing.
It says 14% of 9 to 18 year olds.
Because, like, bricklayers. Bricklayers are going to be one of the people that are just going to go.
Disappear.
Yeah.
They've already got pretty darn good bricklaying robots. We're nervous about robots in the workplace, while a third said they could actively become the chance to work alongside robots. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, son of a fucking dozy piece of shit kangaroo in your spike trap.
Dr. Angelo Cangalozzi said robots of today are a fascinating preview of how we might be living our lives tomorrow.
I mean, it is interesting, sort of like, is this an Australian study or is it more of a Japan one? Because I know Japan's sort of having the problem
well, this guy, the Professor Angelo Cangalozzi was at the University of Plymouth, which is in England, I think. Hey?
Talk up a bit more.
Right. Daily Mail's where it's from, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, Daily Mail's England.
Yeah. So, blah, blah, blah. The survey of 1,246 young people, which was commissioned by Engineering UK ahead of tomorrow's Engineering Week in November, found a quarter of young people currently use AI assistants at home, while 41% have one on their phone. I've been using the Google Assistant a bit more of a just to see what it can do. More of a, I think I will probably use it less as the novelty wears off. But, you know.
Yeah, I have noticed you've been using that a lot lately.
It's a bit of a change around from my little period of paranoia where I had all the...
I figured, yeah, I know. Everything turned off because you're like, oh, fucking put spying on me. I figured you just said it because you're dyslexic and you don't know how to spell. So I figured it was just easier.
Motherfucker. Nah. Well, sometimes I get to words and I am just draw a total fucking blank and I just use the talk to text thing to get it because...
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, it's, you know, it's using the technology to help a disability that you have. That's the point. Nothing wrong with it.
But the survey also suggests that many children feel their education is not helping them get ready for a future where AI and robots will be part of everyday life.
Yeah.
More than a third said they do not feel adequately prepared for working with technology and computers later in life. Yeah, I feel that. I always felt that I would have liked programming and stuff to be a normal part of it, because now I'm out of school and I don't really quite know where to start with. I've been thinking about getting a Raspberry Pi, and I've started a Python programming course like 5 fucking times, etc, etc. But it would have been nice to know a bit more about it. But then again, I didn't take IT or anything. But even in IT, they didn't teach you programming.
It depends
you did
on the
HTML coding and shit. But
Yeah,
not
it depends
programming.
on the teacher.
Yeah, well, most of the teachers don't fucking know
Most of the teachers are old, that's why.
Yeah, well, the thing is they should be the ones that know it. They're the ones that invented it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the 50 and 60-year-olds are the ones that pioneered the shit.
Well, some of the 50 and 60-year-olds.
Yeah, it's their generation.
Yeah.
We also live in a bit of a backwater in Australia.
Our generations are pretty decent at making apps, but neither of us are fucking very good at making apps.
Yeah, I keep thinking I really should. Yeah. Anyway.
But that comes into coding.
Yeah.
But that's another one of the avenues of, like the sort of dinosaurs and whatnot, not being able to keep up with the advancing world. Ooh. Okay, that's fair enough. Now, I bet you those bees are gonna kill
Fuck
me.
you
Yeah. But no, they didn't. Oh, yes, that one did.
Ha!
Shut up!
Ha! He
And they were
stung you.
laughing at me.
Stung you so good. What's clear is that almost every job will require a degree of understanding about how robots and AI work. So in the sense
we
it
know
has
that.
never
Okay, we're done,
been
we're done,
more
we're done with
important,
this. We're
blah,
done, I'm
blah,
bored.
blah,
Shut
blah,
up.
blah, blah, blah. All right.
Go on to
Will's
another
bored.
article.
Everyone else is in.
No, they're not.
Right.
I liked this guy here, the Filipino president or whatever the hell he's called, dictator.
Oh, yeah, he's a dickhead.
Yeah, the one with the war on drugs, and he's like,
Oh, yeah.
that speech, and the guy's like, asking him about these youth killings and whatnot, and then he's like, why are you so preoccupied with young boys? Are you a pedophile? That is just immediate slam down. Like, this is the kind of conversation where like a dude would go, I had an analogy in my head, but yeah, so why are you killing young people? And then he goes, why are you so preoccupied with young people, and particularly boys? Are you a pedophile? At which point the guy would just be like, it's so stupid
Yeah.
that it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's the shock jock thing.
Yeah,
and
and it's the
pedophile
kind of
is such a no-go word
Yeah.
that it would automatically.
It's immediately
just cut
that
it,
you would
yeah.
immediately the guy would go on the defensive and be like, I'm not a pedophile, and it's just and
Yeah, and completely
Yeah,
takes it away
conversation
from
gone.
Yeah.
it's like this one guy in Britain. They did an article or something, not an article, but they did like a picture thing, and it was a politics thing, and they did a cast of like a whole different bunch of people in it, but there was no coloured people, there was no black or Asian or anything, it was just all white people, and one of the reporters sort of, because it was supposed to be for an inclusive thing, and so one of the reporters brought it up and was like, why are there no black people, or why are there no other races in this? And the guy immediately went, how dare you point that out, are you racist? For noticing that there's no one in there. It's like sort of pointing, yeah. And the reporter was just immediately shut down because he's just like saying, no, I'm not racist. And so it's just a perfect sort of curveball that they throw out.
I came across the thing in it was on Tumblr. It was somebody having a whinge about Darwin in X-Men First Class.
who's I've never seen X-Men First Class, so you'll have to.
Alright, well, Darwin is in the X-Men universe is a superhero whose specific ability is that he can adapt to any threat.
Thus Darwin.
He and some of the people in the thread pointed out that, like, within the comic series, etc., he has, like, completely just turned into, I was going to say matter, but everybody's made out of matter. You know what I mean? Like a gaseous matter or whatever, and then reconstituted himself into existence. To avoid,
complete death.
Yeah, to avoid whatever this particular attack was. Like, so he's super adaptable, but
kind of like Dr. Manhattan, where he gets obliterated into atoms or whatever, and then rematerializes himself.
That kind of instance. Yeah. But so he can do that with any of this shit. He's turned himself into. He's transformed into birds and flown away. And all sorts of things. So it's
X-Men just gets weird.
So anything, right? But in X-Men First Class, what's his name? Someone rather Shaw. Who's the bad guy played by Kevin Bacon. His ability is that he can absorb energy, and so he's absorbed like this massive kinetic attack. Or whatever, and it's just kinetic energy. So he's like got shot with a rocket launcher or something like that, and some other stuff went down. So he's absorbed all this energy, and then he like goes up to Darwin and says, adapt to this, and puts like this little ball of energy down his throat, and Darwin tries to adapt to having all this internal energy and can't, and dies.
So now this is sounding familiar.
So straight away they've killed him, like a character that's been in the series.
Straight away, which pissed people off.
But the thing is,
black.
But that's the thing is he was black, and straight away they were like, they had to kill the black man, and there was this huge rant from people who were obviously black going on about it, and I was like, yeah, I take your point. It's shit. He's supposed to be able to adapt to anything. But why did race get even brought into this? It should never have even been considered the fact that he was black. You know what I mean? He should have just been the guy that died. Who shouldn't have died because he has extended canon in the comics.
Yeah.
That's... that's the thing that gets me is that the people that who profess to not be racist and want equality and stuff... profess so much from their specific point of view that they're racist.
That's where we were going on with the super liberals to the point where they become completely conservative.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose there could be underlying tones that they made the dude black because they planned on killing him off or something. Is he black in the comics?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, but
they probably
at the same time, the way people see everyone as
black or white.
Immediately you draw more attention to it. It's like that feminist thing you shared with me the other day, which I quite liked, with the Sonic the Hedgehog thing. For whatever the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom is, and then Amy, the chick in pink, Sonic's unintentional love interest, goes on about, I'm gonna win this football match and be like the first girl, and a step for feminism and whatnot. And then Knuckles is like, well, just saying that you would win it for feminism, or that you'd be you show that a woman can do it, and constantly saying that sort of undermines, proves the point that that you are the exception rather than the rule. And so it would say that women can't do that, but you're exceptional. Whereas what you want to say is that every woman can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it undermines the values of the movement in just saying something like that. I haven't
worded that amazingly, but you get the point.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Knuckles did a much better job of
explaining
it. Oh, son of a bitch.
Wants his stupid animation.
Yeah.
Oh no, he just stands there and looks at you and goes,
oh god, in the other one,
every bone in my body is broken.
He just walked away like a, what are those called?
Slinky?
No, yeah, Slinky will do.
Amorphous blob? An amoeba? I don't know.
This story I found interesting. No prison for girl who stabbed classmate to please Slender Man.
What?
I have to look up Slender Man because the guy who did a series much similar to this, but we won't talk about it, and does the Zero Punctuation series called the Yahtzee Croshaw, made a series of games where he had a dude in it that was very similar to Slender Man, and I'm curious as to which came first, Slender Man or the Tall Man.
Right.
And whether Slender Man was created from his work.
I have no idea.
Oh, it's just something passing through my head.
Admitted to participating in a stabbing of a classmate to please horror character Slender Man. Will avoid prison after a jury determined she was mentally ill at the time of the attack. Sounds like a relatively fair call.
Yeah, of course she's mentally... Unless she's just saying it to get off jail time.
Unless she is just a...
You would need to prove that. But if she does actually believe that Slender Man is around, then, you know...
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, the amount of people that... If you killed someone in the name of God, would you then be considered as a mental health act?
I know. That. See, that's what always annoys me.
Or would you then go, oh, well, you've killed in the name of God, you just were wrong. Not, oh, I killed in the name of my imaginary friend.
Yeah.
If I go in this thing, will it go down or up? Yes, it went down. I want to go this way. No, I want to go down. Down.
Yes, my friend Pinky, the ironically named Green Worm, told me that I should kill this person. And that it would be the righteous thing to do because they offend him and he's the one that created them. So, and the fact that they are going against his teachings. Yeah.
If I dressed up as a pirate and then force-fed someone pasta until their stomach exploded and died.
And say that you were touched by his noodly appendage and that, the flying spaghetti monster deemed it to be so.
If I dressed up as a pirate and then had sex with someone, and then raped someone because my penis was a manifestation of his noodly appendage.
Yeah.
And I was touching them, surely that would be okay, because my God said it was alright, and I would be absolved of all my sins.
Yeah.
As I was his messenger on earth.
Just like God's on America's side.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. It's funny though. He keeps saying that, but he's also on the other side as well. It really confuses me.
Which God is right, or which is the God?
That's the thing that gets me with Islam and Christianity is it's the same fucking God.
Yeah.
It's just that in Islam that they worship a prophet, and even within Christianity, the different Christians kill each other because they think his mum is better than the baby. Like, what the fuck?
It's just people fighting over their different fan fictions. That's all it is.
Shit, it's just
someone's
fucking unbelievable.
Fan fiction. Like, someone's made this incredible series. It's like if in 1,000 years Harry Potter ends up becoming a religion. And then a bunch of people just end up creating a whole heap of different fan fictions and different endings and stuff. And then they start killing each other over these different fan fictions. I
really hope that the leading canon of like the hentai Hermione series is like the main holy book.
The holy book. Oh, I can't think of a sexy name for
it. No, I'm drawing a blank too.
Yeah.
But either way,
the book of sexy Hermione or something, and it's just got a picture of Emma Watson on the cover. Emma Watson was the holy child. Yep.
Because she was the prophet that directly
that directly
assisted
our God, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yeah, that's right.
And then she's a prostitute that he sleeps with. and then others,
Which
in
really pissed off the other prophet, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But
Ron-
they all made
Ron
up
turned
and had an
into
orgy
Judas.
in the end.
And then just different ways of saying that. Or then other ones where Harry Potter, Hermione was just sort of like code for something else, and Ron and Harry ended up together, and so that's sort of a contentious one because that's possibly gay.
It's all about the interpretation, man.
And people thinking that, what's his name, the wolf, the dog. People thinking that he's gay, but he's actually not, or he is. I'm pretty sure that implies that our Lord and Saviour's teacher was gay, thus making that gay is alright. I think you'll find he had a relationship with this woman here. It is not talking about homosexuality. Which it fucking is.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing, wasn't it, in the first movie? The
Dumbledore might have been.
Well, not Dumbledore.
Oh,
The
Sirius
lycanthropy.
Black.
No, not Sirius Black, his friend.
Oh, right.
That the lycanthropy was sort of like code for homosexuality, and that's one of that he was sort of implying that because he was a lycanthrope, people didn't like him, but you could also imply it that it was because he was gay. But then in the sixth movie, he ends up in a relationship with that woman, so it sort of throws it out the ballpark.
Yeah.
But then Dumbledore comes along.
What the fuck's wrong with swinging both ways, people?
That's true.
Yeah. And
I
that's the
must admit,
thing.
I hadn't thought
That's
that, but
the
he could
thing.
be
Like the
bi.
emphasis on the sexuality of the characters is totally bizarre. Why would you even fucking care?
I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, it's
It's not something
in some
you take
ways, but
seriously, but
no, I mean as readers that are critical of it, that may take it as a bad thing. Why would you even care if he is homosexual or not? It's a part of the character development.
yeah,
He's dating a man because he's gay, motherfucker. That's why.
Okay. I think this is.
I'm not
coming
getting
from-
angry at you.
Yeah, I know. I think this is just coming from because currently in Australia at the moment we're having.
Why do they even call it a plebiscite? It's not even a fucking plebiscite. It's a goddamn survey, and when you get the little letter in the mail, it says survey. And all you got to do is mark a yes
What is it,
or
like
a no
$1 million
with an X.
survey or something?
Yeah.
$100,000 survey that they could, with the Prime Minister, could have just gone up there if he had the stones and said,
Yep, let's do it.
"Yep, that's where this is happening."
Oh, no, but Tony Abbott, he's willing to cross the floor, man.
Oh, is he?
would.
Well, fucking good for Tony
Oh,
Abbott.
actually,
Why the fuck is he still around?
Tony Abbott's also willing to cross the floor on if the Liberal government tries to put in a clean energy target. He thinks that there
Who is
shouldn't
he
be one
crossing
at
the
all.
floor to?
Oh, well, because it's a coalition. So within their party, there's a division.
True. Yeah.
So he can go to the other party in the coalition that suits his
the far
needs.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can't we just get
But
rid
anyway,
of this government and just get Labour of the Greens and have a coalition between the Labour and the Greens?
I really just want someone to assassinate Tony Abbott just so we don't have to hear his bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and I
just wish he
know
would
all the
disappear at some
people
point.
out there will say, murder, etc. is not the answer. It's not the socially responsible thing.
Fucking sometimes it is.
And it's one of those things that I might say, well, morally, I'm not sure if I could justify murdering that man hand to hand, although I would consider it. Honestly, if somebody did it, I think I would have to shake their hand. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I wouldn't miss him.
fuck no, holy shit, he made me so angry on my little drive down today. Just so angry.
Isn't it just like he just constantly makes you angry? It's
He
not
does.
like
He does. Every time I see a picture of him or hear his stupid fucking.
He is a. Why am I an
ignorant voice.
armadillo? But anyway, he's not just a. He is just a smug cunt, isn't he?
He's
Whenever
just,
you see the look on his face, he has that smirk, and he is just a prick.
But he's even gone against the shit that he said as a prime minister. Now he's gone completely back on stuff, and has started saying like the liberal green obsession, etc. Like no, sorry, the Labour green obsession, and that that it would be unconscionable for the government to try and even consider a green energy target because it's completely against the values of the party, which it's not. It's a clean energy target, like that includes like all. No, anyway.
Just ignore what he has to say. Even when he got in, okay, he said whatever he had to do.
Yeah.
To get in, he just lied. He just treated us like a naive date, lied to us, fucked us, and then wiped his dick on the curtain and left.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was kicked out, but anyway. And that's just sort of like, and us as Australia were just a gullible, like 17-year-old that believed the 24-year-old's bullshit.
Yeah.
Plied us with drinks, told us what we wanted to hear, and so we opened our legs and let him fuck us.
I really need to learn a bit more about politics and how votes and stuff count and stuff, because the other day
there is preferential votes.
And I was listening to a guy that's like and
other politicians putting their name behind certain parties and whatnot. You do have to look at the person who you vote for, who they back.
Yeah.
Because if you vote them in an independent, and if the independent backs a party that you don't like, well then that's the problem.
Well, yeah. Well, I reckon that all of them should be independent, so they're directly answerable to their electorate. But anyway, but there was some dude on the radio who was qualified and knew shit about politics that I don't, and he was making the point that in both cases of Trump and Brexit, which are like the two like worst political things that have happened in recent history, that in both instances they were voted in on only 26% of the vote. 26% of the population.
Vote, yeah.
But because of preferences and weighting and shit.
Yeah, I do know with Brexit that a lot of people didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah.
They just eventually found, oh, we're leaving, but wait, what? Even though people have been talking about it for ages, that's what the problem when people don't pay attention to what's happening.
Yeah.
All these people that go, oh, I don't take an interest in politics. Well, you fucking should. These are the people running the country. You live in that country, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's like in the Guardians of the Galaxy, where the guy's like, why would you want to save the galaxy? Because I fucking live here!
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
I take an interest in the politics, even though it is boring sometimes and disillusional. I take an interest in politics in this country because I fucking live in this country.
Yeah.
And the decisions they make affect the country and affect my livelihood.
And that's the thing is that so much of the stuff with the politicians is so personal and subjective in that they like take marriage equality in America, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. So the Supreme Court deemed that it was basically a human right to have that right. Yeah, and so it's legal, right? And President Obama supported that. Even though his religious views did not agree with it. So he personally did not agree with it on a religious basis. Right? Because he was a Christian man, and he said
part
that.
of me
but
sort of goes,
he
might have
supported
been,
it because it's the moral thing to do. It's a human right.
Yeah, I think part of with Obama is that he was saying that to appeal to the wide variety of closed-minded Christians that make up quite a bit of the American voting populace.
Yeah, same with Australia.
Which is how Bush got in quite a bit. Bush knew his demographic. Like, he was quoted as saying that Jesus Christ was his favourite philosopher.
Yeah.
My favourite philosopher, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And so he said that because he knows his demographic. People would be like, oh, he likes Jesus. He's fucking American.
Yeah.
At which point, Obama probably agreed with same-sex marriage, but said that to get along. Well, he's like, oh, I'm not saying it, but I'm upholding the law because that's what we have to do. Meanwhile, inside, he's like, fucking yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, either way, even if it was just a political tactical choice, which is a fucking good one, I must say.
Yeah, well, Obama's intelligent enough to do that. Like, he's not perfect,
Yeah.
but he's still one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Oh shit, yes.
Same with Kevin Rudd. I was quite fond of Kevin Rudd.
I do miss our Kev.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of how he took over Julia Gillard. That was sort of like a just pure vengeance sort of thing.
Well, I think that was party pressure rather than him, because
I don't know. He stuck around for a bit. I think he was a little bit vindictive. But at the same time, when he was actually in, he was good.
yeah.
It's just because he didn't toe the party line that he got out. And, you know, I think he was doing what was best for the people.
Yeah.
Just not the fucking Labour old men sitting in the back going, hey, you're supposed to think about us.
Yeah.
It's that Simpsons quote.
The Labour/Conservatives.
Yeah. We're old white men. Everyone should listen to us.
Yeah. Holy shit. I think we should just, when this government's done its turn, I think they should all just be fired.
A lot of people
Every
have said
single
that.
one of them
Start
should be
again.
made to retire and start again. Yeah.
Oh, that's a Roman thing, isn't it? Where
I can only serve so long. Yeah.
no, that they picked people at random out of the populace.
Oh,
that
out of a
everyone said
ballot.
that serving in politics was sort of like jury duty.
Yeah. It's a bloody good idea.
It sort of depends.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is luck of the draw. You might
Yeah.
just end up
Yeah, there's
with the
some
Nazi party.
Do
like,
all
yeah.
that and just some idiot. You'd think you would have some advisors as well.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. Is those they have a party. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, that still wouldn't be pure chance.
And if he is an idiot, then you do get an idiot's point of view,
Yeah.
which it should be counted.
Oh, it depends, man. I've worked and seen some fucking idiots.
yeah.
That sort of thing. I was like 4 years of Jerry the fucking mouse gut eater.
Yeah, but still, it's one of those things that, like, if you have an idiot throwing these ideas out there and he's surrounded by people that aren't idiots, then at least they can go, oh shit, people can actually think that way? Oh fuck, we need to change gears because I did not realize people
That's
were that dumb.
stupid.
Yeah.
But even then, you get people in Parliament that just
Yeah.
tend to be that stupid. They don't have this sort of common sense area.
Yeah, they don't live in the real world.
There's like, oh, that looks good on paper, but then as soon as you throw it into practice, it doesn't fucking work.
Like, for every policy ever. Just about. Yeah.
Let's try East Wing. Fuck this bullshit.
Eastering, I don't know.
Who cares? It is a bit of game in the background to sort of stimulate conversation.
Yeah.
So we've got something to talk about when... Are these like my ancestors?
Oh, yeah. Well, nah, because there was a swine. That's a pig for sure, isn't it?
No, that's Aunt Judy.
Oh, okay.
And that's Uncle
Perhaps
Terry.
it's just like one of those pug-faced cats.
Yeah, they might all be cats. So
You
that's
should get a Mancoon.
a what?
Mancoon! Sarah wants Mancoon.
What
I've
are they?
approved this motion if she decides that she needs a cat.
What are Mancoons?
They are awesome. They're huge, and they constantly look grumpy, and a little bit wild with like a mane and the pointy ears, and they're cool.
Cool.
Yeah. The Bengal ones are pretty cool too. They look like tigers. But anyway,
You should read this article quickly.
Alright.
It's the one underneath the Slender Man one, and it's called Brisbane Woman Applies to Use Dead Boyfriend's Sperm to Have a Baby.
woohoo!
At which point I'm wondering, was the
Is she
dead
got him
boyfriend's
frozen
sperm
somewhere?
frozen, or is she...
Gonna harvest the
Yeah,
body before
'cause
it's
it'd be-
too late.
Yeah, at which point, like, how quickly would you have to go... Like, how quickly would you be able to harvest that sperm before the sperm died? Because the body goes cold pretty quick.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
Is it?
If it goes cold quick, that's better. Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
preserves it longer.
I thought sperm had to be kept at a certain temperature to survive.
I think they freeze the shit.
Yeah, I suppose.
Anyway, in the first case of its kind to come before a Queensland court. The Supreme Court in Brisbane will decide if a 24-year-old woman can use the sperm of her dead boyfriend to have a baby. Ayla Cresswell's partner, Joshua Davies, died suddenly in August last year, and within hours the court granted permission for his sperm to be harvested. Right. Miss Cresswell has sought approval for the court to use the sperm, which is being held at the IVF clinic. The hearing before Justice Sue Brown has heard that Miss Cresswell has the full support and blessing of Joshua Davies' family, as well as her own. There is also evidence the young bricklayer was keen to have children. Several of Joshua's friends have provided affidavits that shortly before his death he expressed a desire to settle down and have children. Catherine McMillan QC told the hearing the passage of time was important. This is not a pure grief reaction, she said.
Even if it was a pure grief reaction, what would be the that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, she thought about it, had counselling, gone through many hoops, and had many tests to see if she can conceive. Miss McMillan said while the child would not have the benefit of a father, there was support from a paternal and maternal grandfather. Justice Brown said, given the complex nature of the case, she should reserve her decision until a later date. Why is it complex? Why did they approve for his sperm to be harvested if they're not gonna... That seems strange. That seems like a no-brainer to me, that if both sides of the family are like, yeah,
that'd be nice. That's something we can remember our son by. His son.
Yeah, and she's obviously attached enough to him to want his child. Like, what the hell's wrong with that?
I mean, I would call it insanity, but...
Yeah, but, you're normal. I mean, free. Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer to me. I think if... That is... Yeah. Again, though, like, if his sperm was harvested, why is it even a decision?
Yeah, because that's what I'm curious about. Like, how long can sperm survive in a dead body?
Yeah, well, I think that's it. That's the end of the story.
Because I know, like you said, they can freeze it, but it's sort of different to just being cold and frozen.
Yeah.
Because of the point where you get sort of suspended animation sort of thing, and then just being so cold that you start to die.
Well, I think it's like one of those things. Like if you drown, if you die and you drown, you're best off doing it in really fucking cold water, because you will have a higher chance of being revived than if you do it in tropical water. They've got to chill you off quick. It preserves your brain. Otherwise you start to basically break down all the enzymes, get sped up, and you start to rot. Life is some weird shit. Hands fucking down.
Alright, so if you don't want to kill yourself, people...
Hey,
if you want to kill yourself, people, don't go swimming in frozen water.
Yeah, or just do it in really cold water in a really isolated area. Brain. That's what I heard on the radio on the way down, that there's another, they called it a different thing. It's basically the whole death with dignity, assisted dying thing being proposed for Victoria this week, today, something like that. Yep. And another one that's going to go into for New South Wales sometime soon as well. But yeah, they're hopeful for this one. Apparently there's been like 40 applications in the past for various states.
Yeah, people want it, but because the politicians are all fucking
dweebs,
religious dicks. Oh, God handed us this gift. Finger quotes.
Yeah.
How dare we take it away? We can't take it away. We can't make that decision.
That's the thing that gets me. Is like no one is just saying that. Well, maybe a few people are, but anybody who's seriously putting work into this application is saying that you walk in there and say, "I'm feeling a bit down today. I think I want to die."
Yes.
Like, that's not the point. The point is
Is
that you have a
relieving-
terminal
yes.
illness. You are going to die. You're
Of which I
already
count
in bad
dementia.
health. Yeah.
Some people don't. I do count dementia as
Yeah.
terminal illness.
Yeah, I would too, but that's the only but you have to be of sound mind. In this application, you actually have to apply 3 times.
Well, that's like the what is it? The one in Sweden? Is it the Dignitas?
Yeah,
You have to get 2 separate doctor opinions,
yeah,
and you have to apply for it in like 3 months apart.
yeah, and there's a waiting period as well. Yeah.
No, I didn't know about the waiting period, but yeah. I
Like-
knew you had to wait 3 months after first applying, and you had to get 2 different doctors' opinions.
Yeah.
Before
Well,
you
I
go
think
back.
that is the waiting period.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you apply, and then you have to. Yeah. Anyway.
Wait a bit, see if you change your mind.
Mm.
At which point, that's 3 more months of agonizing pain.
Yeah. But still, like compared to what the alternative is, which
Yes.
is just preservation of life versus quality of life, where they just
I'm definitely a
string
big
you
advocate
on.
of quality of life. Yeah, I've got a few patients at work that are just like that. Like you'd look at that and you'd go,
that
I'm
person's
pretty sure
dead
that's
anyway,
a form
right?
of torture.
Yeah.
Like keeping them alive at this point that is just prolonging their suffering.
Yeah. Which reminds me of that the comedy skit that I was talking about that guy. The do not resuscitation order. It's like, there's like a hierarchy of people on that form that are allowed to turn you off. So it's like, and my mother chose my younger brother. I mean, why does he get to kill her? It's
I
good.
love that.
It's good. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, that's happening. So hopefully
Good.
everybody's gonna tick the yes box, and then go and have this thing passed, and then we'll be right.
Even if no one does it and this doesn't happen,
At least
to be honest to God, it's gonna happen.
yeah,
It will, in a
is.
few years, particularly if we get a different government, it will happen.
Yeah.
It's not. The people are just prolonging the inevitable. That's all it is. This is just $100,000 waste of money.
Yeah, it really is. They should have made it, I think, a part of all the local elections, and then tallied it up after all the local elections at the end of the year or whatever,
Probably would have been good.
and then passed it. Because, as it is, people have been stealing the surveys and hiding them and shit, so it automatically discounts the vote, the survey anyway, because it's been tampered with, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's just a postal survey, it can't be counted on, and yeah, it's just a total waste of money and a waste of people's time. Kind of like
It's just stupid.
I don't even.
It
know
will
why
happen.
they decide.
And people are just kidding themselves if they think it won't.
What gets me is the extraordinary lengths that no vote people have been going to like sign writers. Fucking people in Sydney flying around in the sky with a fucking airplane to write no.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Got a lot more money and time on your hands.
God damn. Why do people care about it so much?
I don't know. I mean, we care about it because we want our gay friends to be able to get married.
Yeah,
and
I
that,
just
and
want
more
them
to the
be
point.
happy and to equal rights. Yeah.
That's the point. It's not for them to be able to have the ceremony and marriage and all the rest of it. If they wanted to, they could have that already.
Yeah, we've already got friends that have
Yeah, people
done
could
that,
easily just have these ceremonies without actually getting married.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of paper. And that's one of the things people go, well, why do they need the piece of paper? As if it's like sort of, well, why don't you just give them the piece of paper if it's so meaningless?
Yeah.
And then they'd immediately go, oh no, we can't because that's the sanctity of marriage, which was a fucking contract to begin with. It was just a ways of uniting two families.
Yeah, it's all
Back in the day,
it's all a it's just a religious point of view.
it's
for the
religious
no voters.
idiots. Yeah, because originally it wasn't about religion. It was about
Yeah.
contracts between families
yeah,
to sort of cement it. That's why you'd always have arranged marriages.
yeah,
But the thing is that there are so many rights that come with marriage that come with being someone's partner. Like, you're not allowed to visit them in hospital if you aren't considered family, and de factos aren't considered family. If the person dies, then all their decision making goes to the family, and if the person was gay, quite often the family didn't want anything to do with them, so they won't get the funeral that they wanted and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
The family will immediately get all of that person's assets and not the de facto partner.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that they want, and it's those things that come with the marriage.
And
that's what they want, not the
people.
marriage.
Like, it's also sort of linked partly to a mental health kind of thing. Like, it does genuinely matter to people. Like, Stephen Fry talked about it.
I don't understand why it would matter to people.
No,
but it does,
and that's the thing, and that's not the point. Is you need to consider that these people deserve to have their mind at ease because they are a part of the population, and and that's the thing that Stephen Fry said about it, is that people were disappointed in him when he got married because they thought that he didn't
care about marriage.
Didn't care about marriage, but he said, well, people just weren't paying attention. Basically, I never was in that boat. I always, I quite like a lot of conservative views. I'm just gay, in some regards.
That's why I like Stephen Fry in regard, because a lot of people that immediately go liberal think that anything conservative is bad. So there are so many liberal people these days that immediately think that anything conservative is bad, and so many conservative people that think liberal is bad. When, there are a lot of conservative things that are good. A lot of conservative, and there are a lot of liberal things that are good.
Yeah.
Mainly liberal things that are good, but there are a lot of conservative things that are good. Speaking from two people that would generally consider themselves liberal.
Yeah, and the truth.
Even though we have, not the Liberal Party government.
Yeah.
As in the proper term for liberal, as left-wing politics sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a lot more for the death penalty than a lot of people would think.
Yeah.
In certain scenarios, particularly these criminals that have like 8,000 life sentences. Like, why would you bother? Even if they repented for 50 years, they still would, and worked off 4,000 life sentences. They're still got another 4,000 life sentences. It's not going to go away.
Yeah. That's right.
Just a waste of resources. But there are a lot of people that would disagree with that, and they can get fucked.
Yeah, I think
we do need an overhaul of the prison system and stuff. Like over in those Scandinavian countries that are much better at doing things than we are.
I think you had an article about that, didn't you?
Yeah, at some point.
Let's have a... oh, there you go. I had it right there. Look at that. I don't know if it's actually to do with that.
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's just prison.
I just saw prison. I saw Australia, prison.
That's just the we've got an aging sex offender thing going on.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's pretty simple. Drop a brick in his head. No. Oh, sorry.
No. There's a bunch of old people that are sex offenders, and they're just about to be released. They've served their sentence, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they're going to be released, but they need care, and nursing homes don't want them because they're sex offenders.
Yeah. I think he can probably outrun his Zimmer frame though. Maybe they should just surgically break their legs so they are immobile. Castrate them.
There's a bunch of drugs you can give them as well, but that's...
Oh,
problem is
tell
so
me
many
about
nursing
it.
homes
I got given Valium the other day. Holy shit. I was like, the pain's pretty bad. And it says I can take up to like 4. And my lovely wife, who is a nurse, was like, well, these are a lower strength dose than we have in hospital. I reckon you should take 3. And I was like, 3? Alright, sounds good.
How many milligrams are they?
Oh, I think they're only like 2 milligrams each.
You pussy, that's only 6 milligrams.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I think the ones in the hospitals are 5 milligrams each.
Yeah.
So, something like that. I'd have to look at the box. But either way, so I took 3, and And I think it's fairly evident that I have not consumed much in the way of narcotics in my lifetime, other than paracetamol and I suppose codeine is probably the strongest. In that I did not realise how fast Valium gets into your system, because within about 5 minutes I had to concentrate to speak.
Is Valium like endone, or is Valium more of an like a calming medication?
It's a muscle relaxant.
Yeah, okay. So it's not.
It's just why I had it, because my neck was like spasming out.
But yeah, people have
forgotten
used
the actual
Valium
name of what I had. It's not Valium. Valium's a brand. So.
Oh, okay. But those sort of muscle relaxant things, they have used those in place of morphine to give to people who are allergic to morphine, so they can take surgery.
Yeah. And it makes you sleepy as shit, but like, apparently my pupils were dilated. I was just stoned. And I thought, why the fuck does anybody want to take this shit if they don't need it? Like, oh my fucking
You're
god!
obviously not a drug user.
No,
man.
obviously not. Yeah, clearly
not even an alcoholic. Obviously, you have that in mind. People do it so they don't have to think. That's exactly what they want. That high, that high that you had is what they want. And obviously, you don't enjoy that high, so you wouldn't do it.
Clearly. But still, we're up to an hour now.
Alright, we'll stop this here.
Bubsy is still running into walls.
See ya, Bubsy, you piece of shit.
Ciao, Bubster.